And the people you fired, those 12 people, they were experts on Iran, were they not?
I don't believe so.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not.
Right out of the gate, tensions are sky high. Kash Patel, now the FBI director, is on the hot seat, being grilled about his decision to fire a dozen agents in a counterintelligence unit that specializes in Iran. Notice the pushback. The congressman is not letting him off the hook, repeatedly asking whether these were Iran experts. Patel dodges, claiming I'm not familiar, even though he made the firing decisions himself. And then the reference to classified documents at Mar-a-Lago hints at a larger controversy. This sets the stage, a story about power, secrecy, and the risks of gutting a critical intelligence unit in the middle of international tension.
Violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. Was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
This clip exposes the core conflict, firing experts at the exact moment the POLCS was facing potential military action. The interviewer points out the danger, Patel not knowing exactly who he fired in the midst of a national security crisis raises serious questions. For viewers, this is where the tension escalates. The stakes are not just administrative, but potentially life and death. Patel's generally yes shows an attempt to acknowledge the threat without taking full responsibility.
Director Patel, you had a question from Dr. Jackson about the shutdown we're in now with Homeland Security, and I believe you said that this would be harmful to America because of the threat from Iran. Is that correct? Do I recall that correctly?
Generally, yes, sir.
How many days before we invaded Iran did you know we were going to launch an invasion?
We can get into those details in a classified setting, but I work with my colleagues across the spectrum here.
Patel attempts to justify the firings with general stats, 43% increase in arrests and ongoing investigations, but he completely sidesteps the real issue, timing and operational impact. The questioning highlights the contradiction. Firing specialized agents at a moment of heightened threat seems reckless. Viewers should note how Patel uses vague metrics. This is classic political tension, numbers versus reality on the ground.
Give me advance warning so that we can reinforce.
Was it 2 days, 3 days, a month?
It was sometime before that, sir.
Sometime before that. So you had not. With that knowledge, why did you fire at least a dozen agents in Counterintelligence Unit 12 that specializes in Iran counterintelligence?
Here's where the narrative gets striking. Patel fires the agents who are best equipped to handle Iran threats, and then he publicly assures Americans that the FBI is fully prepared. It's a bold PR move, but internally, according to sources, morale and capability are shaken. This clip exposes the tension between public messaging and the underlying reality, a perfect moment for a political commentary video to highlight irony and danger.
They worked in counterintelligence, did they not?
I'm taking you at your word, sir. I'm not familiar with every
You're the
single
chief
word.
director. I'm not. You should know the answer. You fired the people. Where did they work?
People were terminated for violating their ethical obligations and the high standards.
Was
that
the
we
ethical
have.
violations that they dealt with the case of the classified documents that were found at the bathroom in Mar-a-Lago, was that the ethical issue?
As I said earlier, all those matters are pending litigation, so I'm not going to comment on them.
Director Gabbard, are you familiar with CI-12?
I'm not, Congressman.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. In the intelligence community's unclassified annual threat assessment from last year,
This reporting paints the full picture. Sione 2 wasn't just any unit. It was an elite, highly specialized team handling Iran threats and sensitive espionage cases. By firing these agents, Patel potentially weakened a critical component of U.S. intelligence at a moment of strategic vulnerability. The audience should feel the gravity. This is not a routine HR decision. This is national security on the line.
changed in the past year?
No, Congressman.
Does Iran still have the capability to threaten shipping in the Straits of Hormuz with missiles, mines, and small boats?
Their capabilities have been largely degraded, but yes, they still have means to threaten passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
And how long can they keep the strait closed?
This clip underscores the critical stakes. Sione 2 is not just a name, it's a team that has directly countered espionage threats and international assassination plots. Firing these agents amidst rising tensions with Iran could directly impact U.S. security abroad and at home. The historical context referencing decades of Iranian covert operations drives home why these firings aren't minor administrative decisions. This is a story of strategy, security, and high-level accountability, the kind of explosive content viewers are drawn to. In conclusion, what we've seen is a clash of authority, accountability, and timing. Kash Patel, now in charge of the FBI, made sweeping personnel changes that potentially weakened the country's counterintelligence capabilities just as Iran tensions peaked. Publicly, he reassures Americans that everything is fine, while insiders and investigative journalists paint a far more alarming picture. The firing of Sioni-2 agents isn't just about HR or ethics, it's about national security, readiness, and the leadership decisions that could have real-world consequences. For viewers, this isn't abstract politics. This is a window into how high-stakes decision-making, mismanagement, or miscommunication at the top can ripple into global security threats. And with more firings potentially looming, the story is far from over. The question remains, how prepared is the United States when elite intelligence expertise is being dismantled right at the moment it's needed most?
I believe so, but I can't confirm.
So if he was briefed in those assessments that that was a problem, and the Straits of Hormuz could be shut off, and that's causing a great problem in the world's economy with oil prices going up to, I think, under $120 or something a barrel, and an effect on all countries' economies, why would the president not have taken actions to strengthen defense around the Strait of Hormuz?
All I can say is that the president ultimately is responsible for making the decisions based on the totality of information and intelligence that he has available to him.
The intelligence that he has available to him, that's a scary thought. Does the IC know where Iran's enriched uranium is?
The IC has high confidence that we know where it is.
And can you tell us that in classified?
We can speak more about this topic in the classified setting.
Okay. Could it be, we have methods of destroying it?
This is a conversation for a closed setting, sir.
Do you have any idea what the purpose of the Marines being sent, the units that are being sent over there, is the idea that we will put troops with boots on the ground in Iran?
ODNI and the IC is not involved in the operational planning